Prosecutors in New Mexico have reportedly announced that Alec Baldwin will be charged with involuntary manslaughter after handling the gun, which discharged on the set of Rust in October 2021, killing the film's cinematographer. I thought that this was very interesting, that the prosecutor is coming out 2 years later now to charge Alec Baldwin with manslaughter. In a case like this, my assumption is some new evidence must have come out that allows the prosecutor to bring this thing to court 2 years later. Because Alec Baldwin settled a civil claim outside of court with the cinematographer's family. He paid them. Or maybe they've just decided to litigate it. I don't know. In my mind, I think it would be pretty hard to find Alec Baldwin guilty of manslaughter unless there was some really damning evidence. Like he was waving the prop gun around going like, I'm Alec Baldwin and I know this thing is loaded. Everybody get down. Something like that. I don't know. You don't need intent for voluntary manslaughter. No, you don't. You don't need intent, but you need some kind of negligence. So like, let me give you an example. Let's say I am doing a fireworks show and I have fully sanctioned this fireworks show and somehow a firework goes completely rogue and kills someone. Like it's supposed to go up, but somehow, despite all the normal safety precautions, it flies off and kills someone. That is not manslaughter. Now, let's say I'm doing a fireworks show and I'm running around with a Roman candle, which is totally not the way you're supposed to do that, and it kills someone. That is manslaughter. There is real negligence there. I don't know if using a prop firearm on the set of a movie could be considered negligence. Unless there is some like massive oversight we don't know about. I heard like they knew the gun was potentially malfunctioning, which I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to that. But as I said, it's going to be really hard to prove that this was actual negligence versus a freak accident. So we'll see. I mean, I would be shocked if he's actually charged or found guilty. But I've been wrong before and I could be wrong again. And there might be some piece of bombshell evidence that led to a 2 years late prosecution. Prop. No, it was a prop. It's a prop gun. Okay, you're wrong. And it would have taken you one Google search. Fire a live round from his prop gun. I was correct. It was a live round in a prop gun. So everybody who was so confident that it was a real gun, you're wrong. It's a prop gun, but it had live ammunition in it. So a real gun was used as a prop gun. No, Will, that's a real gun. Okay, cool. Clearly you don't understand.
Neff.
Let me explain to you how a film set works. If I bring a katana on set, a random katana, that is negligence. Oh, yeah, wow. If I go through the process of going, hey, we are going to have a katana in this film. Then I go and I buy the katana through the film process. Then I log the katana as a piece of the active set. Then I have my set dresser bring the katana out. That is a prop katana versus someone just walking on set with a katana. You do not understand the terminology. I work in film. Shut the fuck up. A thing can be a prop and still be real. It just means that it went through all the phases of filmmaking that make sure that everybody on set knows it exists. Do you understand? So everybody knew that this revolver was supposed to be on the set, which makes it a prop revolver versus some fucking asshole coming in off the street with a revolver and going, hey, Alec, you want to fuck around with this? Completely different. Completely different worlds. Do you understand? That is what makes it a prop gun because it was supposed to be on that set. Everybody knew it was on that set. It was logged on that set, and it was supposed to be on that set from before they even started shooting the movie. Do you understand? It is infinitely worse if someone just walks onto a set with a gun that no one knew about, and then Alec Baldwin kills someone with it. Totally different situation. Apparently, Baldwin was the one who hired an inexperienced armorer. Well, I mean, Jesus Christ. Dude, can I be honest? Who the fuck put Alec, I'm constantly drunk, I played a misfit guy on 30 Rock for the better part of my career to, like, who put him in charge of fucking hiring a weapons trainer? That sounds like a fucking stupid idea. He was a producer. Guys, a producer is just someone who has money. When you see Seth Rogen as a producer, it doesn't mean that Seth Rogen has some secret insight into film. It means that Seth Rogen has millions of dollars that he can throw at a movie, and he gets a return based on the success of that movie. Now, if there is some like actual fucking malpractice here, like someone went to Alec Baldwin and they were like, Alec, this weapons trainer isn't just inexperienced, he's fucking dangerous. And Alec Baldwin was like, I don't care. I'm Alec Baldwin. I don't care if 100 people die. And they have like a recording of that. Then yes, he is guilty.
Oh yeah, wow, that's for.
And listen, I'll give you this. There might be some piece of evidence that points to that, because they're choosing to prosecute 2 years removed from the incident. Some people have testified that the set was extremely unsafe. Again, if Alec Baldwin had knowledge of that and intentionally continued filming, then it is on Alec Baldwin. But as a producer, I doubt he's even privy to that all that much. But if there's some evidence that he was, I'm completely wrong.
Also, the armorer was shooting real rounds between shoots for target practice. Super bad stuff.
Yeah, that can be guilty of manslaughter. Absolutely. Now, I don't know enough about Alec Baldwin's interaction with that, but that makes sense to me. Charging the armorer, charging the guy who is in charge of the firearms and firearm safety for being negligent makes sense. Charging the guy who hired the guy to be in charge of firearm safety doesn't make as much sense. It's a college-age woman. Okay. I'm sorry I called her a guy. Does that change anything? Oh, I'm sorry. She's innocent? What's your point? No, the point is she is a nepo hire by Alec. She's the daughter of a famous armorer. Guys. I hate to break this to you, but there's a lot of nepotism in Hollywood because it is a craft that is passed down. She's the daughter of a famous armorer. It's not like she was it's not like she was Alec Baldwin's niece who had like picked up a gun one time. Hey, you know, I saw my niece one time fire a 9mm on a shooting range. Let's hire her. She was someone who was born into armoring on set. That's not like dangerous. Well, it ended up being dangerous nepotism, but I understand how that mistake could be made. Like, if you are the daughter of a tiger handler and they hire you to handle tigers on set, you would assume that maybe you had been trained to handle tigers. Does that make any sense? It's not nepotism that's the problem. She was inexperienced and it's only her second job. I mean, I know nothing about armoring and nor do you. And it means that she successfully did a job before that as an armorer, correct? Like at some point, every armorer has to have their first job, correct? After being an intern or whatever. I don't know. I don't think that just because it is your second gig as an armorer and someone gets hurt, that someone can go, oh yeah, manslaughter. But I do think if you were committing negligent acts like firing live rounds out of a prop gun, that you can be found guilty. But I don't think that you can charge the person that hired that armorer to be like, oh yeah, manslaughter. You hired someone who didn't have enough gigs under their belt. Manslaughter. I'm going to be honest. I think that a big part of this case is that Alec Baldwin is a piece of shit. And a lot of people think he's a piece of shit. And so I think a lot of people's inclination is that he's a piece of shit. Fuck him. And I get that. And I think he should probably lose any semblance of a career he had last over this.
Oh, yeah, wow.
The question is Alec Baldwin guilty of manslaughter? And as far as I can tell, I don't think so. But again, as you can see, I don't know the exact particulars of this case. And I've admitted that there are some very specific instances in which, yes, I do think Alec Baldwin could be charged and found guilty of manslaughter. Like, for example, if he had knowledge that this armorer was willfully committing acts of negligence repeatedly on set, and he was like, that's fine. In which case, yeah, he should be found guilty. I don't know. That's just my take. I could be totally wrong. But listen, what I know of the law is you got to be able to prove it without a reasonable doubt. And Alec Baldwin is going to come in with a $10 million legal team. And even if he's guilty, dead to rights, he's going to throw six shades of shit at it and might get off. Paris Hilton drove an SUV into the front window of a fucking boutique and got off, right? She got less time than Mike Vick. Rich people tend to get away with shit.